Mason Walls right here.
Tony Macko.
And you're checking out the
Three Count Podcast.
Weighing in at an unbelievable weight that you might hate, but you can't even
Dang, high pass, we find that drag ball at.
Welcome everybody to
Now
another great
entering
edition of
the
the
ring.
3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. You know who I am. I'm the man that leads you up that mountain. That's right, you can call me your Sherpa. My name is Clifford Red Dog Miller. And like every good Sherpa, you got to have someone who's been there and done that and can do it more efficiently than you can. And so it's never about me, but it's about who's entering the ring. And today, the person joining me can be found at EWA, SWA, WDWA. You can find this man at NWA, FEW, Eclipse, or you can find him at BCW. He's the other half of Black Magic, Tony Macko.
Hi. That list of places where someone's like, goodness gracious, that is a lot of places. Okay.
Bet, man. No, I definitely thank you. Thank you to the Afro Samurai for coming on the show, man.
It's no problem. Appreciate being on.
Hell yeah, man. So, full transparency, man, we're actually recording this on the 13th of January. You guys had actually just came back from Jacksonville, you and Mason Walls, and I'm very excited because I can't wait to be able to like hear some of the stories that you guys got to experience down there.
Oh yeah, it's definitely some stories down there, but the main thing from there though, I'm kicking the table and stuff. The main things that's always from out there is the experience. Not only do we just go down there for wrestling, but we also do stuff for the Level Up charity. So that means that we go out, we do food drive and stuff. We help out the homeless pretty much. And for like me and Mace, that's the more important part to it all. Like wrestling, that's weekend warriors, but doing something outside of that and supporting a good cause, it makes you feel good inside. So it's like, I always look forward to doing those.
It's funny though, man, because a lot of people who will be watching this is actually from Duval County. So that's my old stomping grounds, man. So that's why I was I was that excited seeing it.
Yeah, that's what's up. If we had like, if we had like more supporters from Duval too, I mean from Duval just in general, that'd be even great as well. To help those people out in need.
Man. So I'm gonna ask right off the jump. This is the question I ask every single person when they come on this show. Who is Tony Macko?
Tony Macko is the Afro Samurai, person with a lot of discipline. Grew up probably uneasy, the most uneasiest way. Always had a passion for wrestling, like something they've wanted to do from the jump, but also had to figure out through hard ways to overcome certain things in life. And as well look towards like martial arts and amateur wrestling to pursue more of their passion. And somebody that don't take no shit. And also somebody that's like not a doctor, but really good at open chest surgery, breaking open the chest cavity, rupturing a couple of things from the inside of the body, palm strikes, kicks especially. Someone who's looked at the way of the sword and compared it to their legs, because my kicks I always say, are as sharp as a samurai sword. So yeah, that's probably like the easiest way to explain it.
I like it though.
Probably somebody with a little bit of mystique, because I'm barely on social media, and you don't really see me do much talking. You see a lot of like quietness, frustration, or trying to figure out how to hurt someone more. So I'd say that's more the side of who Tony Macko is as far as the Afro Samurai. Now you got tag team Tony Macko, and that's just someone who's rather being in it for the fans or in it just for our team, is always putting in that 100% effort and is aware of, his partner. And wherever his partner needs help, he's there for his partner, and the same and vice versa too. But always thinking ahead and thinking of the team as well.
Bet. And it's funny because you mentioned the team, Black Magic. Like I remember seeing you guys your names pop up a couple times, and BWI in Black Wrestling's 500. So definitely, man. One, I just want to throw you guys a lot of love because you guys have just been slaying it. I've been watching you guys at EWA. I watched you guys at SWA. I've been watching you guys travel around. Of course, Mason and I have known each other for a few years, man. So that's why it was it's cool just watch you guys just tear it up, and I'm just like, whatever, man. I'm calling shots out. Like, definitely, it's definitely cool to see you guys just do your thing. I'm just curious, like, how did you get into the sport though?
Well, probably one of those typical ways somebody gets into like wrestling is my grandma. Growing up, she watched a lot of Monday Night Raw. Like that was like, church on Sundays. So like, little old me, I was watching along, I thought it was like The Rock. Yeah, just mainly that. It went to the point where I was wrestling the long pillows in my grandma's bedroom on her bed, jumping off mattresses, even doing the good old kid backyard wrestling, like a lot of unsafe stuff. But that's how I mainly like got into it. But that childhood dream of wanting to do it and never forgetting about it, never letting it go. And there was like a couple of distractions on that road to getting to that point, but always came back to it as far as I still wanted to be a wrestler. Hey, ain't that some shit? Let me go back to giving that a shot, So that's how pretty much.
That's awesome though, and it's funny though because like I've talked about this a few times, and it's cool like because if you have a passion for something, and it'll always like show up somewhere, and then you always like you got to wrap back around to it somehow. So that was something that like I genuinely like I found myself as well, right? So whether it was like elementary school, high school, college, the military, wherever I was, man, I just found myself always in the wrestling world and in the know for something. And I was like, all right, I think I found my calling and I need to go explore this option. So it's definitely cool to see that you got introduced to by your grandma. I got introduced to through my aunt. Man, it's always like the random female family members that be
right.
us to do this. Because even like, and I don't know how many people know this, but Chaz is I think it was his grandma was the one that pushed him into watching wrestling.
Wow.
And so it is funny to see like everybody's like female family members are the ones like, yeah, watch this.
Right.
So I know that you've been working a long time, right? And I'm very curious, man, like what's one of the hardest bumps or worst bumps you've ever had to take?
Well, I will say this one thing that I do take pride in as well is making sure I don't set myself up to get hurt. So it's got to be it's just one. It's a second one that's a good like contender, but I don't really think it counts pretty much. So the first one would probably be when I wrestled. It was like my first match on like EWA's main show, and it was the one where they featured CZW. That's when I wrestled Laszlo Airpad, right? He had me in a fireman's carry, right? I tried to reverse out of it, and my knee buckled on me on the landing. And I've never had that happen. So when it buckled, my body shut down and just thought, go to your knee. What's up with your knee? What's going on? And we finished the match. It's just, no, he finished the match. I didn't. My knee, I was like, what's this pain? Like, wait a minute, this ain't never happened to me before. Let's say that. And then the one that's like kind of like a contender, but it's like, for me personally, I'm not soft, so I don't cry when it comes to hits or anything like that. But like Rage in the Cage, what year was it? I forgot what year, but it was Mace just opened it up. Oh, okay, you heard. Okay, good. See, Mace remembers. All right, it was 2017. Rage in the Cage was a 3-way tag match. The Dark Horses was a part of that tag match. Long story short, they got my ass together, and it ended with Grizzlio punching me in the damn face. And what made it so like I was cool when I'm like, it's okay, like it's me, like I've been through shit, so I'm like, whatever. But the fact that I got punched, and as I look this way, I see my headband land on the ropes. I'm like, damn, you really just punched my headband off my head. It wasn't the fact that like I got punched, it was the fact that you punched my headband off, and I'm just looking like, damn.
You know what? It's funny because like, and then like, you don't like typically. I didn't say typically. you'll get the apology like after the match. Like someone will come to you and be like, "Yo, man, I'm so sorry." Because I know, like, I was in the middle of a training match, and it was funny, man. I got one of my friends. I don't want to put his name out there because he he may be from Baltimore and the Beast, but he was working on his like strikes again because he'd been out for a little bit, and like he told me too. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm hit your forearm, and I'm gonna just punch you and just fall into the ropes." And he didn't hit me with a forearm. He just punched me in the mouth by accident.
Oh God.
I was like, okay. And he just like, apologies. The game's so quick. I'm so sorry, man. Are you okay? I was like, shut up and keep going. But yeah, dang, man.
Yeah.
So actually, what's funny was that my next question was going to be like, what's been the hardest you've been hit? Clearly, we've had that answered. But let's go into something else, right? So I want to talk about this. So usually after a match, right, people have like their post-match meals, their post-match snacks. So I'm very curious. What is your post-match meal or your post-match snack after a show?
Nothing. Nothing. So like I work like I have like one of the craziest what is it like lives. So like after a match, like after shows and stuff, if no one's offering to go eat somewhere, like most of the times, whatever anybody else wants to eat, I'm like, okay, I'm down for it. Matter of fact, no. Let's take that back. My after match meal, right? After match perfect food, right? And it's damn near insider. Chicken tenders.
It's like always a
Chicken
go-to though. It's like a, and I will relate to you on that because it's the same way with me. It's like this it's like this comfort food. Like after you get done, and you're
It's
just like,
safe.
ah, yes,
I mean, not
that's what it is.
everything agrees with the stomach. So I was like, nope. If there's anything, chicken tenders. If I see chicken tenders, we're in a fancy restaurant, or if we're in a state that's known for some food, guess what? Like, what is it? Tennessee. Apparently good for known for barbecue, right?
Right.
Going to a barbecue spot, y'all got any chicken tenders? Every time, straight face. So like, yeah, that's my go-to.
Bet. There you go. So I'm curious, man, like, and I didn't ask this question to Mason, and I probably should have, but I'm very curious. What's the hardest part about being in the tag team?
Um, that's a good one. I could probably answer for Mace better than I could give you an answer for myself. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's probably one of the good things about us is there's no lack of communication. So we always know, what's going on. Hell, we're even to the point where as we're driving to places, we're already figuring out what we're going to do, what tag moves we're going to do, how to interact. Like we have really good communication. We don't even argue. Like we just have it set in stone. There's no lack of anything. We have it pretty balanced out at things too. Like he's the one to always contact for like for anything on the communication side because I'm just a ghost. Like I'll see something like, oh, okay, I know they'll talk to me, so I'll be straight about it. So yeah, he does the straight pipes, I tell you. He does the communication part as far as like designs or like gear ideas or anything like that. That's where I come out of the cut. So it's not like one person's always doing more than the other.
Right.
Pretty much. Remember, I can call him in. You want him to answer that question now? It's never too late.
No.
Okay.
You gotta chill.
You good.
I'm like, no, you gotta chill.
Yeah, chill. All right. So I feel like for him, it's probably calming me down because I have this weird mind that when stuff starts, like in my mind, when stuff starts going, I come up with like these crazy ass like spots and stuff. So like I'll sit there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a Hurricane Rana, follow up with a Hurricane Rana, and once he thinks he's up, I'm gonna just meet him with a clothesline. Then I'm gonna send him off to the ropes. You're gonna run, do a backflip off his chest, and I'm gonna hit him with a line like something crazy like that. He'll just look at me like, we ain't practiced that, right? How you think that's possible? He'll bring me back to earth real quick, and I'm just like, yo, Spanish fly off the ropes, bro. What you thinking? He's gonna look at me like, can you do it? But I think I can. Nah, can you do it? So, so yeah, that's like the best way to handle it. Like he'll bring me back to reality real quick with some of the crazy things I have in mind.
I like that. Well, that's good though, man. You have like that balance and that like
Oh yeah,
you can come up with all the crazy ideas and he's gonna be like, all right, first of all, practically in practice, where can we
right,
put that? And have we done
exactly.
it?
Yep. Mhm.
Bet. All right, well, here's a crazy question to ask though, man. Is like, what's one of the hardest lessons that you've had to learn?
Um. Hmm. Probably. Hmm, what would be? That's a good one. See, I'm stuck because I like to prove that, like, I listen. That's always the main thing. I listen and I show with my actions. Like if I'm told, hey, you could do this better, I'll go out and do it the way they suggested. So because I can't sit there and be like, no, there's nothing, because no one in the world is perfect. There's nothing that is considered perfect in the world. Like if you ever say like give me like a 1 out of 10, I will never call something a 10. I'll call it a 9 before I call it a 10.
Yeah.
So hmm. Probably say like early on, it was one of those things that was like remembering the match. That's probably like one of the hardest ones. Probably remembering the match and what else? Probably just that, remembering spots. Probably like the hardest thing, and probably the confidence to speak.
Mm,
It took me so with the confidence to speak part, it took me a while to figure that out, like to figure out my voice instead of like always sounding awkward or something, or trying to sound like super proper and so forth. I just had to remember, like when I was a child, right? I remember obsessed with wrestling. What Rock was like my favorite, so like I would speak like I was a Rock. Me telling a stranger on the bus how to make poontang pie and cutting a promo on the bus. And this is like 5, 6 year old me telling somebody how to make poontang pie. I thought it was actual pie. I didn't know, but I told him. So like it took me a minute just to remember that stuff to get back to, you know how to talk. What is you doing? So me getting that confidence, that's probably like one of the tough things, was figuring out how to talk and not feel awkward about it.
no, that's cool though, man. It's definitely cool that that's something that you're working on and then you're continuing to build on that because like it is something that's it's hard because like even for me, right? Like one of the problems like I have is like I have a confidence issue in like asking people to like I don't know, book me. So it's that fear of rejection, but you know what? Like, you always go out and ask a girl if you go on a date with them or you go to a movie or something, and they're gonna tell you no, but then all of a sudden you're like, ah, whatever. It's my
Right.
style anyway. I'm just gonna go talk to the next one.
Right. That's always the thing though. It took a while to come over that. That's like a lot of people's biggest fear. And that was probably one of my fears, was rejection. Rejection, whatever it could be. Um, shoot, for promotions, you better ask me like, hey, if y'all got some open space, man, hey, I'm here. I got my stuff if needed. Like, there's always that selling point. But yeah, that rejection side is like probably a lot of fear. Like probably one of the biggest fears, but it's just overcoming it like, what am I scared of? You know?
Yeah, it's
So like,
true.
yeah.
So I'm just curious, man. Like, what kind of advice do you have for like upcoming wrestlers?
Upcoming wrestlers, listen, train, um, do research, figure out what kind of style, what kind of flow you want to have, what kind of wrestler do you inspire to be. Um, Look in a lot of different places in wrestling. There's wrestling in India, there's wrestling in Germany, there's wrestling, of course, in the US. Look outside of the WWE aspect of things. Look to different promotions and so forth. Do some seminars. You don't got to do every seminar in the world, but do some. Pick and choose. Listen, of course. Um, as well, every sport has fundamentals. Pro wrestling has fundamentals. Learn all the fundamentals first before you start making your own style or swag or difference with those fundamentals. and listen.
Yeah. Those are all great points.
Yep. And if you mess up, don't sit there and try to explain why you messed up. Just say okay, get back in the line, or say okay and try to run it back. Because trying to explain it ain't gonna get you nothing because you ain't do it right the first time.
Right.
So yeah, that's always the best advice I could say.
Bet, man. So I know, like you said, like you've been through like into Tennessee, you guys have been down into Florida, you guys have been to New Jersey, you guys have been to Maryland. I'm just curious, man, with all the locker rooms that you've been into, I need one do and one don't of the locker room.
One do and one don't. Easiest to do is shake everyone's hands. Shake everyone's hands. And if you just come into a place, you touching a table and stuff. If you don't know anyone there, I guess if you find like whoever seems the most chillest, hang around that person. Maybe you'll find a group within that might make your experience there easier, especially if you're the only one. Don't be pure, not pure, but that'd be talking about another team. Just be ignorant, not wanting to shake hands or just I'm doing like my own thing, screw these people, whatever. Taking it beyond the business and like just going into it for yourself. Or just like singling yourself out, like go sit in another locker room. You don't even know anyone there. You don't care to know anyone there. All you got is a promoter. That's all you need. Don't do that. And just be nice. You don't have to, if someone tells you good match, you don't have to cold shoulder them. You just be like, thanks. Or ask somebody, what you think of it. But yeah, those are probably my do's and don'ts. And clean up behind yourself. Oh my God. Clean behind yourself. Deodorant, body spray, all that fun stuff. Wash your gear. You don't want to be out there with your gear smell like mold. That's not fun for anyone. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. What's funny, man? I think about that too. Like you're talking about like, clean up yourself. I mean, practice good hygiene. I know of people who have told me stories of like guys who had trunks and they could just like set them up and they would just stay. I'm like, that's just nasty.
Okay. Nope.
Bet. So those like all like my real heavy hitting questions, man. But we do got to get into the second best segment of the 3 Count podcast. If you're wondering, the first is the Red Dogs Power Rankings that you can find every Sunday on our debate show. But this is the 3 Count podcast, 10 count questions. And Mr. Macko, this is how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast. And whatever's your answer, that's your answer.
No explanations, just boom, boom.
No. Yep. Just go with it. Unless like I pause, unless I pause the timer, and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna put on an imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing. And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Favorite movie?
Scarface.
Spider-Man or Venom?
Spider-Man.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Samurai Jack or Mitsuguri?
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, that's all right. Full transparency, I do like Mitsu, but hey man, Samurai Jack is my dude. So, favorite submission move?
Anaconda Vice.
Nice. Are you a night owl or an early bird?
Night Owl.
Favorite podcast?
Pope's Point of View.
I have to go check that out. I haven't heard that one before, so I'm interested now. Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Red Pin. Damn. Red Prince. TJ Sykes.
TJ, you have been on this show, and used to owe me. Yeah, we've had TJ on the show. He's
all right. Let me give you another one. Who? Goodness gracious. Russell Twins.
Bet. There we go. So, last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person that comes on this show. Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
That's what I'm talking about. A good F-bomb is what anybody needs in this life. Bet, man. So, also, I tell people all the time, like, if you haven't checked it out, I'm trying to make this video go viral again, so I keep put in the message after. If you have not checked out the history of the F word on YouTube, please go check it out. It's well worth the 2 minutes and 39 seconds that you get to watch of it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, man, those are all my questions. So Tony, can you let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you?
All right. You can find me on Instagram at Tony_Macko. What is it? Tony Macko 100. Facebook, you can just type in Tony Macko, Macko. And then Twitter, it's Tony Macko as well. Oh God, this table.
Bet. There you go. There you have it. He gave you his handle, so you know what that means. We gotta take it home, which means this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. And like I said, I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. That's right, the man that leads you up this mountain called wrestling. But it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring, because if you're a good Sherpa, you have to have a Sherpa who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficiently than you can. And that's why the man who's entering the ring today, Tony Macko, you see him right next to me, the other half of Black Magic. It is so good to have him on the show. But you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you just wait for that outro and you choose another episode. Peace. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3 Count Pod. Give us a like, give us a follow. Leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3 Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3 Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh, at prowrestlingtees.com/the 3 Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.